Oh yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Dog Pound again tonight. Oh man, we got an awesome show for you tonight. But before we get started, let me introduce our awesome panel in here. Our technician, Mr. Production Man, Mr. Do It All, Mr. Randy Chura. How you doing, sir?
Good, brother.
And then our elder, the one, the only, Mr. Don R. right there in the corner. How you doing, Mr. Don?
Uncle Don.
I'm doing great tonight.
And then we got Mr. Ernest E. Smith, River Rat 3030 out there, sporting the guard dogs, eating the chicken. How you doing, sir?
Doing good, doing good.
That's awesome. Then we got somebody in here tonight, our guest, our man with needs no introduction, but we're going to give it to him anyway. The mayor of YouTube, the man that has won more medals than he has places to put them.
The Sturgeon Killer.
Stan Two is in the house. How you doing, Stan?
I am doing great, Daryl. I'm doing great. My voice is recovered a little tonight, so we're doing good. We're doing good.
Stan said he felt like Santa Claus. He's been everywhere the last 2 weeks. He said he's been on how many hours of Facebook have you been, or YouTube have you been doing?
Because in the past couple weeks it was like on live, like on camera, like 20 something, almost 30 hours. So
yeah, man, I tell you what, I think I was on at least 2/3 of that much. You might not know, Stan and I, we did the something that was actually started right here by the Guard Dog Pro team. And man, kudos to all you guys that came together and said, hey, let's help Big Mike. And raised over $5,000, actually $5,300. And Stan said, here, let me be your wingman here. And hey, he co-piloted that plane with me, and we rode that thing out and was able to have a great, awesome deal, didn't we, Stan?
that's right. All I did was talk, though, Daryl. We already talked about that. That comes pretty easy. Well, that and volunteer to wear the pants. So that's what.
Well, all I know is come the 30th, we're in trouble, buddy.
Yeah.
We have got some trouble. But before we get started, I want to thank Mr. Monty that sponsors us and sponsors this channel. Guard dogs out there, guys. Awesome product. I believe in it myself. I love looking for these guard dogs to go off. And guys, if you want some of these guard dogs, you can go to guarddogproducts.com. You can put in TSO10 and get 10% off, or you can put in, Randy, what's yours?
Randy 10.
Randy 10 or Don 10.
Yeah,
and
real complicated.
Ernest, I don't know if it's RR30 or what's yours, Randy? Or Ernest, I'm sorry. I don't know. He's too busy eating chicken. But anyway, Stan 3's in the house. Oh, Lord. Now, here we all got upstaged now. But guys, if you want some of these guard dogs, go out and grab you some. They are so much fun. And for Stan 2 and Stan 3 being on, we're going to mail them out some guard dogs and let them try them out. I think you'll really have a lot of fun. We're going to mail you out. We're going to mail you out the Pro 1s, the Pro 2s, and the brackets that let you use them on your boat also, guys. So
mine was a dud.
it's they're a lot of fun to watch.
They come in certain colors, or
yep, different colors. Yes, sir. They sure do.
I'll take a red one.
Red one. All right. I'm sure there'll be a red one in the pack. But anyway, guys, another man that we might need to give him a little introduction. The man that won the Online Fishing League points champion. His dad takes a lot of credit for that. But you can see where the cup is right there. Mr. Stan 3. I'm going to tell you what right now, Mr. Stan, we're glad to have you on there, Stan 3. And I don't think you've been on any shows yet since you won that big, beautiful cup, have you?
No, this would be the first one. I did a little fishing in the morning with Bugman, but I haven't done like a interview style type of show.
Well, that's awesome. We're glad to be. See, we were the first to be able to just snatch you right up there. So
I appreciate you thinking about me, Daryl.
Yeah. Well, you know, after you gill netted all of them and caught them out of your grandpa's pond, I was like, well, let's get him on here and just see how he really caught those fish out there. So I'm so jealous. I tell everybody that he's my nemesis. Every time I think I've got something won, here he comes passing me up right in points. So
well, I can tell you what happened.
Oh yeah, you told me at CatCon what
Tell him,
happened
tell him his skill.
on that last deal there. So that's what I wanted to do is bring in Stan 2 and Stan 3, and I wanted to talk to Stan 3. Yeah, look there, look at these medals they got showing up. I'm gonna tell you what, amongst us all, we got a lot of medals going on out there.
That's some bling on screen now.
Yes,
Bling
sir.
bling.
Yes, sir.
Daryl,
Yeah.
recognize the people that come in. We got Dave from Double Hook Angling. We got Eddie Gross. We got H&H that are hunting and stuff who thinks we look like the Brady Bunch. We got Comper in here. We got Mr. Marty, and he's going to send them the Pro 2 models to fit perfectly on the FOA rods.
Nice.
We got Steve Hooker Thomas. We got Rhonda from Fishing in Whiskers. We got Cleveland.
351.
Yeah. Hunting and stuff. Eddie Goss. We got Pontoon Jody in here. Like I say, we got Mr. Monty. We want to thank everybody in here that's come in. Eric B, thank you for coming in. We appreciate all of our people coming in. Hopefully tonight will be entertaining and you'll enjoy what we talk about. Hey, I tell you, a lot of times we just get started and talk about what comes up most of the time. That's
Ellie from the Bullock Experience.
Yeah. We talk about anything and everything for sure. If we missed anybody on chat, we'll try to get you caught back up. But yeah, I want you to tell Stan 3, tell us about that last tournament where everybody was gunning to try to make sure they win it. It was like 4 of us that could have won it. And some of us jumped in boats and drove for 8 hours to try to guarantee ourselves a win. Now, that's just the way it was. We went all the way up to Illinois and fished this lake that was just supposed to be chock full of fish. And we were making sure we were going to beat the James River. There wasn't no way Stan 3 was going to win this thing. And then tell everybody what happened and how you got where you was at.
Well, I knew it was going to be a numbers type of tournament. You know, everybody's trying to get as many touchdowns as they can, obviously. So I had a good game plan of where I was going to go. There's a pretty big mud flat that I could have drug or sat around there, and it's usually pretty active. The bait's always there. So when I went in and threw the cast net to try to catch some bait, I caught like 3 or 4 of the catfish that we were going after, the right size. So I was like, I know where I'm fishing now. I ain't moving nowhere. So I just found a spot I was able to anchor up, and it kind of made like I don't know how to. It came in and it made like a bowl. So we have the tidal river. So when I was there, I guess it was high tide. So the whole first half of the tournament, I noticed that the current was kind of going out this way and all the hits was coming over there. So I started, targeting all my baits over on that side. Then the tide flipped and the tide started coming back in, and it did the opposite. Now it started looping around the other way, and it was the same thing. I noticed all my hits were on that side, so then I targeted all my baits over there, and I guess it was just everything was in my favor that day. I got lucky and did what I was supposed to do. I listened to the water, and I was rewarded. So I don't know what else to say.
It was a little bowl area, guys. If you could have seen it on the live, it looked just like a little pond that he had drug his boat up in, and it couldn't even move it. So I claimed he was fishing in his grandpa's pond over there, top full of channel catfish. And
It was a hot water discharge. I believe the water temperature was it was like 75 degrees that day when I was fishing it.
And they catch their bait with gill nets up there, and that's legal for them. So I always tell everybody he catches his catfish before tournaments with the gill nets, and then just hides them out on me. And then every time the tournament comes up, he's fish on, fish on, fish on, like that. So.
Well, and we're allowed to use the reason we're allowed to use gill nets in the James River is because it's a tidal river all the way up to above Richmond, so that they call it the fall line. So below the fall line is considered tidal river. So it's under the control of saltwater. What do they call it? The Virginia Marine Resource Commission, I think, is what controls it. So when you get your gill net license, you got to buy a license for it. It's through the saltwater. So that's the difference there. We can only use it there in that section of the James.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, now that I know that you buy a license to do that, I'm going to send into the committee and see if I can't get that stopped then. Look, I need all the advantages I can get. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. That's for sure. That's sort of like down here at Skip. Well, I live in Georgia, but up in Tennessee, you can only catch so many skipjack. You can catch 100, but you can only have 200 in your possession. But I live in Georgia, so it's a sort of a gray area. In Georgia, you can keep as many. You can have as many in your possession as you want to. So I don't know if it's okay that I go and I hadn't ever done this, but if I could go up to Tennessee, catch my 100, bring them back to Georgia. If I got the 400 in my freezer, is that okay or not? I don't know. That's one of the gray area things, So I thought, well, I might need to give $50 for they sell a commercial license up there also for like $50 or something like that. But I don't generally catch enough to do that.
It's usually better to pay the license fee than to worry. The fine to get caught is usually worse than what it is just to get the license.
Absolutely. But I know FOA is y'all sponsors, and you appreciate them, and they take care of. Freddie takes care of you really nicely, and now Steve's brought you on as a Monster Rod Holder sponsor, and that's awesome. Congratulations with that.
Thank you.
It's just opened up a lot of different things for you, and that's great. Who would have thought fishing a little tournament that nobody actually started out that very often and did. So shout out to Freddie and happy birthday, bro. That's right. It's Freddie's birthday today. He's been sick.
Happy birthday, Freddie.
Hopefully next year you won't be quite as sick for sure, but he's been sick. There's Dustin. Hello, Dustin. Welcome to the Dog Pound. We appreciate you coming in. Look at Stan making all that stuff, all that confetti going. Canadian Fishing Machine. How you doing? Let's see who else we got in here.
We got Avid in here.
Avid, yeah.
Wild Turkey just came in.
Eric B. Man, we got the chats just rolling tonight. We appreciate everybody that's coming in. Wild Turkey, how you doing? We really appreciate
Canadian Fishing Musician came in.
There you go.
Yeah, he's asking if River Rat caught anything yet. I don't think he has.
I just
got down here.
He just got. Well, he has caught something. I seen him. He caught a fried chicken leg, and it's all in his beard right now, guys. So don't let him fool you. He's eating a fried chicken leg for sure. So, but anyway, yeah, that
from the Colonel.
Yeah,
that's from the Colonel.
That tournament started out, and you didn't have hardly anybody jumping into that tournament, and then all of a sudden, the tournament, the Live Fishing Tournament League, and then it started catching on, and everybody wanted to be a part of it. And at the end, it was a battle, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Talk about pressure. They say there's no pressure in these tournaments. Bull crap.
Yeah.
There was pressure.
I'll fish with James, and me and James was swapping the lead with Stan 2 and 3 back and forth right there at the end. And we went in, me and James went in, we were 10 points ahead, I think, going into the last tournament. I think, what, we 10 in front of y'all? And then y'all wound up beating us by 3, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, it was whoever it whoever won had to win if it was any of those 4, like had to
the
win.
top 4. Yeah.
Between us and you, like if you would have won, it was over. Like if we
That
would have
point
won,
one, that point one is really what did it. That point, what was it? Point
Shut
one.
up, Stan. I'm tired of that. Well, I hate the word point one. Okay.
And here's the thing: there's so many things throughout the year. There was tournaments that some could fish in, some couldn't. There was weather conditions, this, that. There was so many things throughout the whole season that it just, it wasn't one particular thing. And that's what's great about a year-long thing like that. Like, you've got to overcome, everybody that's out there has to overcome so many different things. And to have it come down to the last week on the very first league, to have it come down to it couldn't have been scripted any better.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, Jay, how you doing out there? Josh Thompson's in the house. Hey, JG, how you doing, sir? I think we got everybody else.
And joined us, Josh Thomas.
Yeah. The thing of it was, if it wasn't for that dead gum Brandon going down there, getting that fishing guide down there in Louisiana, man alive. I mean, they beat their buddy out by 0.1. Who does that to their friends, I mean, that's just like, if it hadn't been for that, we wouldn't have probably had to even fish the tournament.
Especially in different waters than your home water. That's just a double shot.
He had a secret weapon called Carrero, didn't he?
Man, Creo got us. That's all I can say. It was the Creo death, I'm telling you.
Creo, the secret weapon.
It was. And
I was, I'm claiming that was my win that day because it was my strategy to stay home out of the boat.
You go.
I wanted to go out there and, take all the glory, but, I decided, you know what, my 400-pound butt don't need to be in the boat, because that's pretty much how he made it all the way out there. Because that's a little, you're talking for a small boat like what we had and a small motor. And that's actually down in the bigger water, down where that spot that he went. So it's a pretty good trip from the boat ramp out to that spot. So by me staying out of the boat, it cut the travel time down by half.
You told me you was not quite 400 pounds. You was a biscuit away from 400 pounds.
That's right. A biscuit away. That's right.
A biscuit away.
I'll tell you what, he didn't help me. He really helped y'all, because we would end up catching way more fish if he was in the boat.
Because you both could have reeled him in, right?
Well, exactly. He could have been showing off the fish. I'd have been casting them suckers right back out.
Hey,
I would have been up in the 30s or 40s, probably.
I think that was a compliment, because I don't know if he's saying that one of my specialties is catching a lot of small fish. I don't know if that's what he's trying to say, but
hey, I've seen him catch one about that long just to get his stuff on the board one time with a night crawler. I'm not trying to say anything, but I've seen it. I was there when it happened.
He's good at targeting, right? He's good at targeting them fish.
I'll put it this way. He's got to catch them just a little bit bigger than that if he's going to use a guard dog. Just a little bit bigger than that to use a guard dog.
We just keep getting people coming in. We got retired Rick. We got
Cool Rick
James looking for stuff out of his cupboard that he can't find. We got Country Girl Fishing.
Stuart's in there. How you doing?
Stuart's in here. Woody's in here.
What's up, Woody?
What's up, Woody?
Apparently while James was sleeping, Jody rearranged all his cupboards in the kitchen, so he can't find a dang thing now.
Oh, man.
We got Skip, Grey Wolf Outdoors. Welcome in.
Hey, Grey Wolf.
What's up, everybody? Good to see everybody.
Yeah, it is. That's awesome. We got an awesome crowd in here tonight. We appreciate everybody dropping in. Like I say, we're just sort of talking about the online fishing tournament. Well, are you just going to keep that thing up on the mantle, or are you going to give us a big shot of that cut back there? Because I need to see what I'm going to win next year.
Yeah, I'll show you what you're going to win next year.
Oh, come on.
Ooh,
Woo!
I hate him. I don't know why. I should have just let Stanfield come on.
Daryl, you know how many people came up and said that to him at CatCon?
I had him in a headlock over there. That is a beautiful trophy there, guys. And his name is actually on a trophy about 3
absolutely.
times that size.
Look at him. He done rubbed the buff off of it.
That's how I,
It's him up there. You got fingerprints all over it. What are you doing kissing it? Kiss marks on. What are you doing kissing this thing?
It was my trophy. It was my
Oh
trophy.
my goodness.
I was all ready to show it off here.
Oh
I was
my
going to
goodness.
come in with it, and he come up and confiscated it before the show. I didn't even realize it.
There's cereal in here. What is?
I washed it out. I washed the cereal out of it.
What do you got in here, man?
I love it. I love it. Everybody sees the serious side of fan
He
3.
didn't confiscate my medals. I
Yeah.
still got my Golden Whisker medals from this year's Golden Whiskers.
Wait a minute. Is the granddaughter? Is that your daughter that he got nominated and he
He
kept?
needs to bring him to me.
Those are my sons.
Yeah.
That'd be his grandsons that got the medals, and he kept them. Yep.
Golden. Wait a minute. It says Golden Whisker Awards Youth Angler nominees.
Yeah, exactly. Where's your awards? That's what we're looking. Where's your awards?
Well, as the grandfather, the patriarch of the family now, you get to, claim responsibility. You got to take the bad, but you got to take credit for the good too. You know what I'm saying?
So if they come from your loins, then all the trophies are partially yours. Is that what
That's right. That's right.
Oh my goodness gracious! It's getting worse by the minute, Stan 3. I'm telling you what, Pops. I don't know about that.
Well, I guess it's gonna work out good for me in a couple years, so I can't complain about it too much.
That's right.
Exactly. Oh, man. That's something else. But yeah, so this year, it's going to be totally different. It's going to be a totally different fishing league. We're going to be fishing. I think it's 18. Is it 18 tournaments now?
Total of 20. Total of 20, but 19.
I gotta go check. They must have added a couple that I didn't.
No, wait a minute. Maybe I am wrong. 18, and then the finale is the 19th tournament.
Yeah, maybe so. But anyway. Uh-oh. Look at here.
Looks like Ernest got something here.
Mr. River, is that thing alive? Did you find that? You
found that on the shore. What you trying to do to us?
Man.
That's bait.
Hey, it's officially a fishing show now. There was a fish showing on the show.
That's right.
That's alive, but
That's what I'm using for bait.
That's a big old bait.
Buddy of mine just come down here and caught him from in a net up the bridge up there about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Excuse my dog over here. If I get to laughing loud, she gets jealous and she barks at me.
I see 92 finally made it back to shore. There was a long haul dragging that anchor all that way.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff Bill's in the house. Crappy 922 Crappy Barbecue. Hey, how you doing?
What's up, 922?
Jody said it's going to be a year of the ladies winning this year. Well, let's see about all that. We'll have to see. I don't remember if we said hello to River Rat there, or Rebel River Cats. I'll get that right in a minute, but it's tough having to read, man.
Looks like Jeff was asking if Ernest is blowing bubbles.
I don't know. He may be over there, but this year there's going to be even more skin in it. But I think everybody would have fished it whether there was money on the line or just for that cup. I'm telling you, it's just fun to get out there and compete and have a good time with your fellow fishermen. And I know we've got a $2,000 payoff for the biggest catfish, and that's by Mad Cat's rod and rods. And then we also, if you're using monster rod holders, that's going to be $200 per tournament for anybody that wins that. If they got monster rod holders, then also we've got at the end of the year the points champions, first, second, and third. There'll be money there, so it's an extra incentive. But like I said, I don't think that would influence anybody to get in it. I think it might cause a little more controversy, just to be honest with you, but that's okay. There's always controversy, whether there's money involved or not, when you got a contest. What do you guys think about that?
Absolutely. You just need some bragging rights, and there's going to be controversy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's like
throw a line of spool of line in there. There's going to be throw a sticker in there. You're going to have controversy.
Well, and Daryl, I think that's what started kind of the whole thing. Just with, I think a lot of people don't realize how important this stuff is to us. They think a lot of people outside of the community just thought of it as all the fun little tournaments, but they didn't realize how much care, how much time we put into our channels, how much time and effort, to go out and fish these tournaments. The first Iron Cat, we were out there for 2 straight days with no sleep, 43 straight hours of fishing with no rest, no break, no nap, no nothing, out and it was thundering, had mud up to my knees, and Stan 3 and Dan were floating down the rivers in kayaks for the overnight and part of the next day. So when the rest of the world didn't realize how much we cared about these tournaments, and it wasn't for money, it was to go out there and say, look, I'm fishing these waters. I believe in these waters. I believe in myself. And you have fun in that too, but you were representing your rivers, you were representing your home waters, your channel, and the catfish community as a whole. So
absolutely.
I think people are starting to realize that now.
Yeah, and I'll just be honest with you. When we left from the Tennessee River to go up to Illinois to fish, you can ask Woody. I was like, we were going by the river. And I said, man, I feel like I'm cheating on my river. Because we had to go by the river to go up to where we're going at. And I looked at him. I said, man, I don't like this. I said, I feel like we're cheating on my river.
You did cheat on your river. They say
exactly.
cheaters never prosper.
I see, that's what I said. I said, man, I feel like we're cheating on the river going here. Woody goes, I know what you're talking about, but
Well, Daryl, I just want to point something out. You hear the two different responses there, and that's why I'm called the mayor.
Yeah. Oh, I don't listen to him. He's like me. He's got that little smart mouth on him.
Hey, wouldn't you rather be a smart butt than a dumb butt?
There you go, all day long. But yeah, it is fun. I get why we were doing it and stuff like that. I mean, we're just not known for the small fish, but it is what it is. We had all year we should have built a lead where we didn't have to worry about that. So it's just like a football game, if that people go, oh, they lost because the referee made one bad call. You had a whole game that you didn't make a bad call on. You should have put it away there and then. That's what we always said. So
hey, they can't complain about that. They can't complain about that. They were the refs.
That's right.
So, say, welcome in to Jeff Beal, Don Johnson.
Thomas, Josh said he feels like cheating when I fish without Shelby. Oh, Shelby caught a nice fish this weekend, 30-something pound blue cat this weekend. Congratulations on that. They were using the guard dogs. He sent me a good picture of the guard dogs they had out there. So,
and he was using watermelon Kool-Aid with major melon Mountain Dew skipjack heads.
Guys, if y'all want some flavored skipjack or flavored shad, and you live close to Watts Bar, now I'm gonna tell you what, this man believes in his flavoring of the bait, and it's funny. That's what he catches on every time. He does Kool-Aid and Mountain Dew, and I don't know what all. I think he went out there and got some dirt one day. Oh no, coffee. That's what it was.
Kahlua coffee.
Kahlua coffee, and caught him on it. I'm like, this guy's crazy, but he does. He catches them, so that's go ahead. Where's he located at, Stan?
3 miles east of Watts Bar Dam is Thompson's Outdoors and More
There
for all your bait and tackle needs and more.
Yeah, and we got to get him started on. He's using the guard dogs, and he's wanting to get those in his store. A lot of people don't know Josh. He's just started that store out, and he's trying to slowly build up as he goes. So he'll be getting more and more stuff in that store. Good guy. I helped him out by pouring the concrete. Helped him with he did all the heavy work. I just showed him how it was done. but poured the concrete slab for his bathroom. They're about to start serving biscuits in the morning and stuff. So, man, that's an awful nice place over there. But anyway, we'll get back to what's at hand. But it's going to be a great tournament this year, and a lot of great teams are going to be in. And, I don't plan on, unless something big changes, planning on fishing outside my waters to go anywhere. I'm gonna try to beat you stand 2 and stand 3 like a wet noodle.
Well,
You're the champion. You can say that right now, but hey, when time comes, just like this weekend. What's going on this weekend, Stan? Too, I can't hardly remember what's coming up Saturday at 8 a.m. in the morning.
Do you know stand 3? Do you remember?
We are about to finally see who is the better anglers, the boat anglers or the bank anglers. And I think it's pretty cool that it's kind of like the jump off before the league starts up, and everybody's going to be basically on the same team, and then they're all about to be against each other.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good showing of great fishing. Tried to pick a little bit of everybody across the country. So
who did you leave off your team, Stand 3?
You have to catch fish, Daryl. So
who did you leave off your team, Stan?
I picked good fishermen. That's what happened. So I made sure I got Brandon, and I picked all them other good Tennessee anglers.
Yeah. He left me off his team. Mm-hmm. Sure did, man. He's left me off off the team. He's like, yep, Daryl's not good enough to be the boat team.
So then what happened,
Daryl?
Just as always, your nemesis will be fishing on the bank, brother, making you look bad like only I can do. That's right. 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. this Saturday. D-Rail Maurice will be fishing from the bank.
Oh, putting on the bank.
You have to leave some competition out there for him.
It's going to be a massacre. And you know what? The only person I want to beat in this whole tournament is you, brother. You.
It seems like everybody wants to do that lately. Everybody's coming after me lately. What's up with that?
Because we got a couple of haters out there that don't like you winning. That's what. A couple of haters.
It is. Hey, if I got some haters, I'm doing something right.
There you go. Exactly. So
Cool Cat said funny. He did not pick me either.
Oh.
And he came in second right behind him.
I know you're going to be fishing with Jody. I know Brandon's going to be fishing with Bobcat.
Yeah.
I planned that out smart. I'm not no dummy.
He's a smart fart smeller.
Mm-hmm.
Feller. So that's going to be a fun time. Nobody's ever seen me fish from the bank. And the rules are you got to fish from the bank. And you can, what is it? 6 rods. Is that the rules? 6 rods?
I don't care. Use many as if somebody's got a limit in their state or whatever, we can do 6. But I don't care. Use many as want.
Many as we want. Okay. You're asking for trouble now, my brother. As many as we want. Okay. I got a half mile here.
Josh, when you succeed, you always got a target on your back.
Yeah.
That's
true. He goes out and he gets all these suckers to come in. Hello, Eric B. How you doing out there? I think we already said hello to retired Rick.
Hey, butterflies.
Sunshine in the house. But that's okay because, when you leave somebody off your list, it just makes them just want to win that much harder. I went out and got me some cat claw rod holders. I painted those suckers up, got them all shiny, mopped up. I got me some monster rod holders that I'm going to be using also. I got those things all shinied up, welded me up this nice bracket. But now that I know I can use more than 6 rods, that monster rod holder bracket's going to get just that much bigger. We're going to catch it anymore. It's going to be a massacre.
Daryl.
Yeah.
There ain't no honor in that, man. I can go out there with 1 rod. You go out there with 20 rods. Come on now.
Yeah. Oh, are you going back to your grandpa's pond again? Is that where you're going back?
Hey, it's the James River. I'm in a boat. I got there in a
Well,
boat, right?
I don't know. I didn't see you getting there in a boat. Now we got to tell the truth.
And for those that don't know about it yet, it's pretty simple. Bank anglers got to fish on the bank. Boat anglers got to fish from the boat. You can use whatever bait. So you could use the Kahlua, Kool-Aid, chicken flavored, whatever you want to use. And the way that it's determined is the single biggest fish. The bank anglers are fishing as a team. The boat anglers are fishing as a team. You know, we see a lot of times everybody fishing against each other. We tried to have it. This one, it's a team. The bank team is on our channel, Two Stands Fishing. Boat team is going to be fishing on JG Hill's channel, and so it's the single biggest fish. One fish from each team, the biggest one. Whoever gets that gets a point. Then it's the single biggest fish from each angler on that team added together. And that's the second point. And the third point, because, you know, the bank anglers, we wanted to try to give those poor boat anglers a chance. We said, all right, well, maybe they can go to a bunch of different spots. They might be able to catch a lot of fish. So we don't totally want to blow them out. We're going to let the bank anglers catch more fish. So whichever team catches the most fish, that's the third point. And so to win, one of the teams has to get at least 2 out of the 3 points. So tried to keep it fair.
Well, we didn't want to destroy them too bad, you know. So
yeah, gotta let them have 1 point.
And get to our spots any way we can, right?
Yeah.
He got lucky last night on our Guard Dog Pro staff member Rustic Outdoors. He won a $100 gift card, so he got to go window shopping at Bass Pro Shops.
Oh, awesome!
Cool. What'd you get me?
Skip got it.
And can we agree that's all the rules? Exactly. Is that all the rules there are?
What kind of slick stuff are you trying to put?
I'm just
That's a Georgia thing right there.
Look, I'm just.
Oh my God.
Look, it was asking what were the rules, and I just want to know if that's all the rules.
I know that the boat anglers are nice, honest, professional fishermen are just gonna go out and just fish like normal, not gonna have a whole bag of clown tricks that they're pulling out there. I gotta worry about writing a whole rule book for a little bank fishing.
Good evening, Ernie Brown.
I'm not very good at casting, but I'm good.
You can do that. That's fine. That's totally fine.
I'm good. Have y'all ever seen a drone pick up a line and take it out to the middle of the river and drop it?
And and we had to agree upon that all final decisions will be based on agreement by JG and myself.
Okay, the most weight. Okay, each individual is going to catch the biggest fish they can catch. All right, so at the end, we'll take those biggest fish. Say I catch a 22-pounder, and Danny Stone catches a 56-pounder, and so and so and so and so. Every one of the bank fishermen, their biggest fish, they'll add those together for the most weight, and the same thing with the boat. That's what I understand, right?
Yep. And we're just going to count the biggest fish.
You know, if there's 6 boat anglers and 7 bank anglers, it would be the 6. You know, if it's gonna match out, it's got to be it's got to be even amounts.
And the boat anglers away, baby. Just saying. I mean, you know, it is what it is. So, guys, y'all go out and watch that. It's going to be a great fun, a great time. And I'll tell you, it's fun. But let me ask you this, Stan, too. How did you get started just pretty much strictly in the catfishing part? I mean, you're probably like us. Me, I grew up fishing from the bank and catching bluegill and bass fish and all that. But what made you turn over to where you just pretty much just catfished?
Mike Chavez in the James River. You know, my family's from Louisiana, but we lived in upstate New York when I was younger, and we pretty much had bullheads up there and small channel cats. But so I actually, we'd run a trot line and stuff up there, and every once in a while, and for some and keep what we caught, and we'd clean them up and eat them. But as far as like the catfishing that we do now, I would say, what do you think, son? It was when we came down, probably 2000. Well, the first time we went out, we thought we were the stuff down here. We had what did we get, the trifecta, and I don't think any one of them was bigger than 10 pounds.
Oh yeah, we were bragging. We were bragging. Every one of them was over 5 pounds.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing something.
We were still using like we were fishing for bullheads, night crawlers and like 12-pound test and light gear. And so we thought, and then after that we started hearing other things, and we kind of started watching Mike Chavez on YouTube, and he fishes the James River and the Chickahominy, and we're like, man, look at this, like that's crazy.
Got nothing going on, huh?
Yeah. So kind of went from there, and then Stand 3 was so we were doing okay. We were catching the first big fish that we caught, first big catfish was 22 pounds. I know you're not going to believe it, but it was before we started YouTube. It was a 22-pound catfish, a blue, and that was kind of it. And then Stand 3 got he had the Walmart kayak out there, and he would go to places that we couldn't get from the bank. And there was nights where he was calling and sending me pictures and videos of like 3, 4, 5, 60 pounders, and every night, like, cause he was able to get up in the, with that kayak, and it wasn't the kayaks you see now, the new canoes and that, it was the Sun Dolphin, little plastic 10-foot Walmart kayak. And then he started doing that. Then we started doing more bank fishing, and it just kind of went from there. Yeah. What do you think, son?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest thing that like really changed for us was once we were watching the stuff. We were still fishing like we were in New York. Like even when we caught that the 20-pounder or whatever, we still had the smaller hooks and stuff like that. I think we maybe used a 6-aught. Thought we were using a big hook.
Yeah,
I think we were using eel, so we were using smaller pieces of bait, and we just weren't fishing like that was big baits for like back where we were, but that's not big baits for the James.
Right.
So then we started realizing, all right, you got to be using pieces of bait the size of your hand, not the size of your finger.
Yeah.
And then that's when everything started cutting the baits a little bit different, and I started noticing some changes and improvements there, and that was the biggest thing. For some reason, I don't know why, there's that snowball effect. You can't catch a certain size fish, and then once you catch one, you start catching a bunch of them. Yeah. But it happened when I was cutting my bait a certain way. I started cutting them into big chunks, and then I would notice I was like, oh, wow, all these are like over 10 pounds, whatever. Then I was cutting it like a flapper bait, like down in the middle. So it'd have, both sides kind of flapping, and then it went up to like 20 pounders. And then I did it like a 4-way flapper, and then they went up more. But I haven't really been doing it anymore, but it was pretty weird how once I did those extra little bits of cuts that just the presentation, changing up your presentation and stuff.
Yeah.
Makes a difference.
And it's just amazing how you can get hooked on it. With me, I was the same way. I had never caught big fish until I started watching Chat Cats and kayak catfish and those guys up in the Tennessee, because I'd heard a lot about how big the catfish were up there. And man, I started looking at how they did it and watching closely and the stuff they used. And then I took and went up there. I remember the first time I went to Tennessee, me and my buddy went up there and it was still dark. And I looked at that river, and around my house, we didn't have a river that nowhere near that side. I thought, oh my God, it's dark. I ain't going out there in the dark. I ain't never been there. I don't know where the rocks are. Because our rivers down here, you got to watch how you go. But up there, it didn't matter if there wasn't no rocks, but I didn't know no better than that. So I waited until it got daylight. We sat there for 45 minutes till it got daylight, got out there. And man, once we started catching fish and they kept getting bigger. And it's just like, I didn't want to fish for nothing else. Monster catfish. It was just awesome. So It's a
Have
fun thing.
pro staff in here or catfishing Katie Collins. Be sure to check out her promo code and save yourself some money.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know what got me. I think it's kind of funny. We've caught a lot. Well, some of us have caught a lot of big fish. I mean, a lot. I can't really remember exactly every detail on the 50s and whatever's, but for some reason we can remember every detail of that 122 pounder.
Yeah.
It's crazy. However many years ago, that 122 pounder, I remember all the details on that night. It was, and I think that's what got me, is because I had to go get my daughters or drop my daughters off. And when I left, we were already saying, it was like, as soon as we leave, he's going to end up catching something. He's going to end up catching something big. As soon as we were leaving, driving over the bridge, he's underneath of us, hooked up. We come back, he's got this big fish on the bank. I was like, I'm beating him now. I gotta get one bigger than him now. And that's what lit that fire right there. I'm like, okay, so they're out here. They're definitely here. I gotta figure it out now.
Yeah. It was funny. My biggest catfish I'd ever caught was 18 pounds in Georgia. And the second time I went to Tennessee, we tied that. And I won't never forget that either. It's funny that the beginning details are more etched in your mind than the others. But then the second time we went up there, I took my son with me, and we both caught a 22 pounder together. I know Stan's gonna go 2-2.
It's a perfect fish.
Yeah, it was a 22 pounders, and then we fished all day, but just about the time we were going to leave, he caught a 24 pounder and beat me like that. And but it was just so crazy, and you learn from YouTube and learning from watching shows like this. And that's what I'd say to people. If you're thinking about going somewhere where there's big fish, find somebody that's fishing in that area that you're going to go to, a YouTube channel, and watch how they do it. You can learn a lot off of these people that's fishing off YouTube by watching their shows. And that was what I didn't know. I had no idea what kind of hooks to use or line or sinkers or any of that stuff. And I watched Chat Cat because I knew I was going to be fishing in Chattanooga because that was the closest place to Tennessee River to me. And I watched closely and watched everything he did and how he did it. And actually, when I got up there, I had watched so many of his shows and I didn't even realize it, but I could figure out where all he had been fishing. And I would go, now this is funny, I would go over to his spots and look at what he was fishing in. And then I wouldn't fish that spot. I would mimic it. I'd go find something downriver to try to find. And me and him's friends now, and I told him that. I said, I didn't want to fish your spots because then I was just learning from you and fishing your spots. I went and found spots downriver that mimic it to where I could figure out what it was. And then I learned about, then I learned about how they moved around and all that. But that's what I did to start off with, was try to mimic and find a spot on my graph like what he fished. And I learned a lot like that.
I think Randy will agree, and Don and Ernest, it doesn't matter what fish you're going for. If it's a predator fish, trout or pike or whatever, there's going to be certain characteristics, and that species is going to act the same, for the most part, for the conditions that are there that day. So if there's bass up in the shallows at a certain water temperature hitting frogs in the lily pads, well, guess what? The majority of bass in that lake are going to be up in the shallows in the lily pads hitting frogs. If the pike are somewhere and they're deep, it's a little cooler and they're hitting a certain thing or a certain colors work. At the majority, not all of them, there's always going to be the anomalies, but predator is a predator and they are instinctual, so they're going to act the same. They're going to react, for the most part, going to react the same to the conditions that you're in. So just like you were saying, if you're finding shallow mud flats, or if they're on a ledge, so you got deep and shallow, then deep, look for those, and you're going to be more productive. That's how you're going to continue to catch more. Is just knowing how to put those patterns together. And I think Randy or anybody would agree with that.
No, I agree, and I think a lot of the times is people don't think about, just take a little notebook with you, and you want to write down conditions, temperature, what front's moving in and out, because that's going to pay off later. It's kind of hard to keep track of everything, but if you take a little notebook with you and just write it down, that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
And I think if people are getting into catfishing, and you want to really start understanding a catfish more, you need to understand the bait.
Yeah.
Look at whatever body water you're in and understand that bait. Because if the catfish are on the mud flat, they're on the mud flat for the bait. If the bass, like he was talking about, is up on hitting the frogs, they're getting the bait. It's all about the bait. You want to get consistent and learn about the catfish, learn about the bait.
Yeah.
It's all about that bait. No worries.
Hey, stick to your day job, buddy. Randy was talking about writing things down, and I'll tell you, and I don't have it here. There's a good book that Catfish Sumo puts out there that's a log book. And guys, if you want a very, very detailed log book that has everything in there, if you're fishing that day, especially people that starting out, it's got a place for the weather, what the how high the water was, how cold the water was, the flow. It's got a place for everything for that day, and that's awesome.
I got to give Stan 3 credit with that. Like that's he's very, very good at looking at the river, putting the conditions together, and saying, okay, I'll just use basic things like the current is up, the water's up, the current's here, so. Okay, I got spots, boom, 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 this section of the river I know to go to. If it's sunny and this and that, okay, these are the conditions I'm going to fish here, here, and here. So he knows. That's why you see him consistently catching. It's not that he's that much better at fishing than everybody else, and he just has learned, like Randy was saying, about those conditions. And that's what we talk about, time on the water. He was able to pick that up and remember those spots, put those conditions together. And that's, with talking with Epic, that's one of the things that we have learned from him. And he's one of the best at doing that really quickly. So he's always fishing what's going to be the most productive spots for the conditions that he's in. He's not wasting time fishing spots that, you caught a fish there 3 weeks ago, but it was sunny. And it was a warm front. Well, now it's a cold front, and it's cold and cloudy. He's not going to fish that same spot. He'll be fishing a different spot. So that's the time on the water that you talk about, and that's why you see him consistently. And any of the other ones you see consistently catching fish, Parker and everybody else. That's what they're doing. They're able to put the patterns together quicker than most other people.
That was the problem.
That time I took that big old weight off of there. And
that was the problem today. It was obviously everybody had tough conditions on stand day, but we had the shad run right now, and it's normally like you go up where the shad are at. That's where you go fishing, but you have them with the spring conditions where the water temperatures should be up in the mid to high 50s, and you want nice, bright, sunny conditions and stuff like that. Well, it was below 30 degrees last night, so we had an immediate cold front. So I knew I couldn't decide whether I should listen to the cold, and probably maybe they might be holding a little deeper, try to go for a big one. And then the technique I was using, the wind was blowing directly upriver, so I wasn't going to be able to do my drifting downriver. So I was like, well, I can't fish like that. Might as well go see if some big ones is in the deep. And they were biting before the camera. I had the camera curse today. I had to pull out the Jody technique. I took a nap, and when I woke up, I had a takedown rods folded over with a 30-pounder on there.
Oh man, yeah, that's the way. Let's see, Stan 2 told me one time that if you didn't catch fish on live, they didn't count. He hurt my feelings bad that time. It's tough when you are doing lives. It seems like every time you turn that live off when you catch the big fish. We were doing a live the day that Woody caught the Hondo, and we kept having problems of we'd get into a place, we'd have signal, and then we went in a place we wouldn't have it, and we lost signal twice. I was like, let's just end this live. we ended the live like an hour later. We moved back down to where we actually would have had signal if we wanted to do live, and we caught the 100-pounder, and it wasn't on the live. It would have been great if it would have been, but it was. Well, we had it on video at least, but yeah, it's always seems like when you catch the big ones, it's not on the live, so it's crazy.
Or the reception's all messed up and it gets all pixelated. That's what happens to us. Anytime we've had a big fish on, all of a sudden the camera goes to crap. It's pixelated. You never can look at it again.
Yeah.
And of course, that's my fault that happens. You know, that's you're supposed to be doing the YouTube part of it. I'm doing the fishing part of it.
You know, one thing I tell people who are just starting out, and I hope it stays in the back of their mind, is that there is no wrong way to fish. You know, if something's not working, try something else. The fish are there. They're going to bite eventually, but, you know, just keep chunking away at it. But you might be doing totally unorthodox thing and catch the biggest fish that day. And I've seen it happen many times.
100%.
Absolutely, Don. Great advice.
Yeah. That's how you learn new things. Sometimes you just gotta try something different. Isn't that how the drifting rig came up with? They tried something different.
Yeah.
Nobody else was doing that.
Yeah. I don't ever get discouraged. I don't let anybody discourage me if I'm going to try a different way. You know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to watch and learn and stuff. But if I get, and most of the big fish that we've ever caught, I had I was like, I can't say it's an intervention, but you know, it was a gut feeling. It's like, we got to stop and fish here. We got to try it right here. You know, most of the time that pays off. It don't always pay off, but it has a lot, you know, just going with your gut. I mean,
once you start consistently catching fish, then you start putting the other pieces in the puzzle together to, you know, increase your odds. But I try to make sure they don't get discouraged right out of the get-go because they're not doing what somebody else with 30 years experience is doing.
Yeah,
absolutely, Don.
That's why we did the show last week, that you don't have to have, you know, $200 rod and reels and stuff like that. You know, we did the show last week, fishing on the cheap, where, you know, you don't have to have the high dollar, you know, demon dragons or whatever. You can use the floats and stuff. Use what you got, and you know, and fish for what's in your area. Till you know, a 10-pound catfish may be a huge fish in there. And that's one thing I said about when I made Trophy Seekers Outdoors. A trophy is what's in the eye of the beholder. You know, if a 10-pound catfish, if that's a trophy to you, awesome, thank you, great job to you. You know, and don't let somebody's 100-pound fish discourage you. Going, well, I'll just never do anything. You may not be in the waters to be able to do that. So, whatever's a trophy to you, that's a trophy, and don't let anybody ever discourage you that you don't have your trophy. That's what the trophy is to you.
It has nothing to do with the size of the fish. It's the size of the excitement that fish brings you. And
that's what you said this morning.
And you know, if it's like Daryl was saying, if 10-pound channel cats are the biggest fish that are in those waters, and you're catching 8-pounders, well, guess what? That's the same thing as somebody in the James catching an 80-pound fish, or in the Tennessee. You know, whatever the big fish are in your areas, like, you know, well, that's one of the things. That's why we kind of started for big catfish here, because we're on the James. Well, what's it have? Big catfish. When we were up in New York, we lived right on a lake. We would catch biggest bass we caught was over 9 pounds. We've caught crappie. My wife has caught over 3-pound crappie. We've caught over 2-pound crappie. It used to be nothing to go out and we'd catch a stringer full of 16, 17, 18-inch crappie.
How big of a walleye did you catch?
How big of a walleye did you catch?
You know, I was meaning to ask you, Miss Smitty's flathead, does she have one bigger than you? I can't remember. You know, my buddy in there.
Yeah. Her flathead is bigger than mine. by quite a bit. I think my biggest flathead is 22 pounds.
Oh man, I'm usually the one taking it. You're having to take it tonight, brother.
Yep, and she was out fishing. She was out fishing with my son with Stanley there when she did it.
Yeah.
I think I caught like a 22-pounder the other morning with Bugman.
Yeah. Well, guys, we are bound to the end, and I'm just going to give you a chance to, if you had any last things to say, talk about, or your sponsors or anything like that before we get out of here. We appreciate both of you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, guys.
Ernest back there, he didn't get one, but hey, he will before it's over with, I'm sure. Mr. Don R., thank you for coming in and helping with chat. That helps so much. I appreciate you, brother, as always. But if you guys,
I've got one more question.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you've seen what it's like when me and him are on the boat. You see how much he rocks the boat. You sure those things aren't going to go off with every time he laughs and the poles go like that?
When you get them, and we'll talk about them, they have a light and a heavy setting. Okay, so when there's a light guy in the boat, that's when you put on light. Well, and there's a big, a cat head away from 400 pounds. That's when you put it over in heavy for the heavyweight.
So light in a stand 2 setting.
That's this far one over here. That's the stand 2 setting. And you know what? These things are so much fun to sit and watch and anticipate them going off. And the coolest thing, you hear it's so cool. You got to try that for sure.
I got to experience that at CatCon where they had that set up. Yeah. And by the way, thank you very much for that. But at CatCon when they had them set up where you could actually, they had a little handle on it.
Yeah,
you could set it off, and you felt it. It wasn't, where you say don't with a circle hook. Don't you don't want to do that. It's just going to pull it straight out of the mouth. But it was like the same thing as we'd reel down fast on it, or if you just do that, that slow hook set, it just bam, and you could feel how it would pull right on it like that. So it was pretty cool actually getting to try it out at CatCon.
I've been using them a couple months now, and I've enjoyed it. Like I said, the anticipation. I watch my rods way more now than I did before I got them. They're made for you. If you don't watch your rods, if you're looking at your phone or whatever, but I guess I just want to see them go flying through there. That's the fun part.
Anyway. And that stinks sound.
Yeah. Any final words, Mr. Stan T?
Anything from you, son? Well, of course, I got to have a couple things. FOA customsandgear.com. We got monster rod holders. So proud to be part of that. If you're going to get some monster rod holders, you can use code 2stands15. We're getting that all worked out. Steve has been traveling and stuff. Colorado Jay, you can get in touch with Daryl or you can email me, 2standsfishing@gmail.com. She said she was waiting on hasn't heard back about the Creole package yet.
Okay.
Never Lost Anchors. Use code 2standsfishing. When you try to do this off the top of your head, you always forget somebody. But CatCon, if you're getting your tickets for CatCon, you can use code 2stands10 to save yourself some money, or just 2stands at catfishconference.com for your catfish tickets. Cal boots. Man.
I'm sorry. I just couldn't put up with enough. I had to mute him, guys. I had to mute him.
That's just messed up, man.
Stan 3, did I do a good job?
Hey, y'all can just check the description in our latest video for all of our sponsors and links.
That is so messed up.
And, I really appreciate being here tonight. Thank you so much. And thank you for letting me talk, Daryl, and getting all that final things off my chest. I really gave out the secret to catching big fish there in that last couple of seconds. So I hope everybody heard.
All right, that's enough, guys. We appreciate everything and everything. But this is not the Stan show. This is Guard Dogs. Guys, I hope you get out, get you some Guard Dogs, get them on your lines, get them on your boats. Awesome product. GuardDogProducts.com. Go over there. You can hit TSO10. Randy 10, Don 10. Ernest, what did you wind up saying yours is?
River Rat 10.
River Rat 10.
River Rat 10.
We appreciate everybody coming in. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Stan 2, Stan 3. I appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, guys.
Party shot. There's a trophy.
So, as I always say, thank you. I'll get with you on your address there, Stan 2 and 3. Randy, take us out of here before he starts talking again.
Yes, sir.
One more